Welcome to 3D Movie Cinema, the only show that's 3 dimensions away from Avatar being called Na'vi. I'm your host 3D Jake, and today we're looking at Avatar, released in 2009. Avatar is written and directed by James Cameron, and stars Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, Stephen Lang, Michelle Rodriguez, and Sigourney Weaver. The movie is essentially about a guy in a wheelchair who is a veteran named Jake Sully, who really, in the future, wants to, get his legs back because his brother passes away, and he literally is just in a rut and everything, and he wants to, get his legs back and walk. And so this corporation says, hey, look, your brother's dead. We have this Avatar program that you're a twin of his, so you basically can do the same thing. If you want, swap his place. And so you go to there, Jake, and do your brother's job, and we'll give you your legs back. And so he agrees to it and goes to this alien planet where he gets basically matrixed into a Na'vi body that was created by the corporation, and basically goes there because the corporation's looking for this thing called unobtainium. And basically he gets into the Avatar body, and then he basically goes with Sigourney Weaver and these other soldiers and everything and scientists, and they're basically there to go and do research, they think, but really is there for up to unobtainium, and chaos ensues. And it's basically, the best way to describe this movie, it's like Dances with Wolves meets Ferngully or Pocahontas. When I first heard about this movie, I mean, it was everywhere. In 2009, it was everywhere. You could not escape this. I remember I got action figures for this movie from Christmas because it was that popular. And I just remember seeing the movie, and I was just blown away. I thought it was amazing. I thought the movie looked it looked amazing. And I went and saw it in 3D, so I mean, I was like everywhere. Seeing everything in 3D was a spectacle. And I was just blown away at how amazing this movie was. And I just remember, I remember seeing it almost like a couple weeks after the movie had come out, and I'm like, everyone had seen it, so the theater was not as packed, but it was still packed. And I remember just be blown away by the spectacle this movie is. And I just remember when I was watching this movie, it just looks, visual effects wise, looks amazing. The whole movie, and you find out the whole movie was shot on a green screen. None of this is real. And you're just I was like, no, they had to go to the jungle and shoot this somewhere. No, there's no way. I mean, no, the whole movie was shot on the soundstage, and it looks incredible. And apparently James Cameron took the cast out to a real forest and made them do all the stuff that their characters would do in the movie to try to get a sense of real feel, so that way when they would be able to act this out in the movie, since we did this in the training, we're going to be able to do this in the movie now, because you don't want to just throw act and say, oh, make bow and arrows, make campfire, and you're like, just it wouldn't work. So I like that he did a training thing beforehand, and I thought that was great. And I really am a huge fan of this movie. I think it's a really well-made film. And I know nowadays the cool thing to do is oh yeah, Avatar, it so sucks now, yeah. And no, it's actually a really well-made film, and it's really good. I mean, this movie, I mean, I think some people are just because they're overhyped. I think some people just don't like them because of that. I think they're incredible, well-made films. Avatar is such a well-made film. I absolutely love this movie. The fact is that, you have the bad general guy that's oh yeah, and then they have this lots of great action where the soldiers and everything, they destroy the tree, and it's just just the tree, and all the Na'vis are taken out of their place because that's where the unobtainium is. And you get to see this guy, you see Jake, just him progress with the Na'vi, and he gets there, and he tells all the corporations and everything. And I thought that was great. And then when they destroy everything, and he gets basically locked up, and then it's then he has to escape to go find the Na'vi and everything, and they have to lead an assault against the corporation. And I thought that was great. I mean, it really is a well-made thing. The only issues I really have with this movie are, one thing is a lot of stuff James Cameron does borrow from Aliens, because he made Aliens, and so he literally borrows a lot of stuff. For instance, some of the Panthers in the movie look like the Queen Alien, and some of the the soldiers in the big some of the soldiers in the big when they're in the giant the little machine thing with the machine guns, it looks a lot like Sigourney Weaver's Lifter from Aliens. And then of course obviously you have soldiers that kind of look like the soldiers in Aliens. And so it's so there's a lot of stuff in the movie that does kind of resemble aliens, and I think that's because Cameron made the movie, so he's like, well, I'm gonna borrow from myself, you know? And I do kind of wish it looked more original from that standpoint. Like, I'm like, you know what? I understand aliens exist, but be more original with it, you know, because you are an amazing filmmaker. Don't try to copy yourself. Just don't take the easy way out. Try to go harder, think harder, you know, and but I mean, the story is well. I mean, I know some people criticize because it's like very similar to other stories, but I think it is a well-made story, and I think a lot of people, the visual effects looked amazing, and on top of that, the story. Yeah, I mean, you could argue the story is very a basic story, but I mean, it's a really good story still. I mean, it keeps you engaged the whole movie. You know, and I think honestly, I mean, everybody talked about this movie. Everybody watched this movie when it came out because it's such a spectacle of a movie. It's like an event movie. Like, you can't go and watch this on Disney Plus. I mean, you can now, but I'm saying you could not in 2009. If this was like, you couldn't watch this. You had to go to a theater and see this. And I think nowadays you would not want to go and watch this on Disney Plus. You would want to sit down in a theater with a big bucket of popcorn and just with a nice soda pop, and then just like and put those 3D glasses on and be immersed into the world of Pandora. And I thought that's what I like about this movie. I also think the score by James Horner, rest in peace, is breathtakingly great. I mean, I love the score in it and everything. And there's even like a love scene in this movie where you're just like, what? There's a love scene in this movie? Which nowadays I don't think they put it in there because Disney owns it. But like back when Fox owned it, like, yeah, let it. I mean, that's crazy, but they do it, you know, and everything. And I think, you know, and I know James Cameron said he does this movies are kind of like pro-environmental movies. So that's why he doesn't like really using guns, like, you know, in the movie. Like, he used, like, that's why the Na'vi, most of the fighting is done with arrows and people dying from bow and arrows. You know, occasionally there's like some missiles and stuff, but he doesn't really like killing people with guns, he says in the movie. And I think in the sequel, he kind of heavily told them, like, some of the writers were writing the script with him, he said, don't really use guns. He said, I don't want to use guns to kill people because of school shootings and all that stuff. Gun violence and stuff in America is a big situation. He doesn't want to like kind of glamorize that in movies. And so I'm like, you know, they're movies, really. I mean, what do you know, like, and it's in a fictional world, fictional creatures. But I do like though, I do like how like, you know, it's basically like, it is a movie that has issues that people still talk about today, like colonization and stuff like that, that I think really helps define this world. Like, I mean, you could watch the movie and it's like, okay, there are colonizers that are coming here to take the land from the natives. And I appreciate that this story dives heavily into those messages, and I thought that's a well done message that James Cameron heavily delivers on. That I think, you know, nowadays people probably criticize him for making that story, but I think it works so well because, one, they're blue aliens from outer space. I mean, it's not like, you know, but I mean, if people read between the lines and stuff, and I think they see it from that perspective, and it still works either way. And I thought this is a really well made film. I really enjoyed this movie. I think it still holds up today. If I had to give this movie a grade, I'm going to give it an A+. Thank you so much.
Sharpton for president, y'all. I'm outie.
Jesse Jackson for VP.